I'm not the only one out walking this morning. This day is for the birds in a good way. Good morning. Welcome to the walkie-talkie. You know, this is March, and March is always a month of windiness and a month of newness. Sprung, spring springs. Anyway, it gets warmer and flowers start to bud and trees start to bud and all that kind of stuff. And I know it's not officially spring yet, but you know, March has kind of turned the corner and spring training has begun. So if spring training has begun, how can it not be spring? Yeah. Well, good morning again. You know, this morning is a great morning. It's a beautiful morning here on the shore of the waters that lead to the Gulf of Mexico. And I want to just talk to you this morning about kind of the iconic figure of this month by the name of St. Patrick. I guess you've heard of him. I'm trying to keep the shadow off my face. St. Patrick. St. Patrick was a guy from England. He's not from Ireland. He's from England. That was kidnapped when he was like 16 years old. And when he was kidnapped, he was taken to Ireland as a slave. And there as a slave, he was kind of an animal keeper, a shepherd. And after 6 years, he was able to escape his captors and get back home to his family in England. So when he returned home to his family in England, something got a hold of him. He had noticed the things that were happening and how life was in Ireland, and he had grown up around the church. He was not a prolific church goer type guy, but as he experienced the life of Ireland and the Celtic polytheism, the many gods that were worshipped in Ireland, he thought, you know, this root of truth that I feel in me from my youth, I want to do something with it. I want to do something about spreading what really kept me anchored during my time as a slave. So he ended up going back to northern and western Ireland and becoming a missionary, for lack of a better term. He was just somebody who gave his life to the people, who gave his life to the mission of bringing life to them, of explaining the what he called the glorious news of the kingdom of God, the love of the kingdom of God to them. And he made a difference. And now we celebrate the date of his supposed death back in the 5th century on March 17th. But here's the deal that I want to leave you with today in this walkie-talkie, and I know I've stopped walking because I wanted to, is this, that Patrick found himself in a place of bondage. But when he found his freedom, he went back to the others that were in his same place of bondage. And so many times in our life, we have sometimes traumatic events, sometimes we have painful times, hard seasons, difficult learnings, difficult life lessons that we go through. But then when we emerge from them, what do we do with the leftovers of that pain and the leftovers of that emergence? What do we do with the leftovers of the negative parts of our life? And I want to encourage you to do what Patrick did. I want to encourage you to come to a place and an understanding in your life that those that are experiencing the same things that you experienced, that were negative, that were painful, that were horrific, that maybe even you would call bondage in your life, that you go back and give your story, give your life, give your passion to those people so that they experience the same thing that you did, the same freedom that you experienced, the same knowledge that you know, the same liberty that you're experiencing now. And if you do that, you'll be a saint. I'm Phil. Welcome to the walkie-talkie. Have a great day. I'll talk to you again this week. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.